only 1-0 up.
Absolutely. Men against boys for the first half an hour, Steve. I mean, Man City have come into it slightly in the second part of that half, but Liverpool have absolutely battered them. It could knocking it into the space has been an area that Liverpool have tried a few times.
Yeah, look, it was a tough start. They're a bit, like you said, they were happy for it to be great ball in. Gakpo was there, right minute, right man at right time.
We know how powerful Virgil van Dijk is in the air as a centre-half, Colo. We've seen him twice. I mean, will he be disappointed he's not scored?
Yeah, absolutely. Great chance for him. I think his leap is great here. His contact is really good. And I think the goalkeeper made a great save here because I can see that he touched the ball there. Okay, that made the difference.
Yeah, Joe called that straight away at the time, actually.
That's the chance, isn't it? That's the one he should score.
Absolutely, I think he should score this one. But if you see the change of direction he did twice.
A couple of shots from long distance today. You see Trent's had another shot that's been blocked. It's been one-way traffic. And I'm sat here watching thinking, how do you stop this? How do you stop it? Liverpool are so good. I mean, I don't know what Pep Guardiola's going to say to his men, but they've just got to weather the storm and hope that they can build into the game second half.
What might be the conversation if you're in the City dressing room right now?
Keep calm. I think you've got to understand that the situation that you're in, I think looking like they're going to make changes. We're sat right next to the bench. We're in a really privileged position. We saw Guardiola talking about Doku, talking about Jack Grealish.
A little bit different under him after Jurgen Klopp and the great years, but wow, nothing's changed. They're still a winning machine. They didn't even look like getting beaten today. In fact, they've hardly looked like getting beaten all season. They're ticking along perfectly, and it's going to take a very, very good team or a big collapse for them to throw it away from here. I know it's early in the season, but that team just look as if they're almost unbeatable here at Anfield.
Do you feel that for Liverpool, Colo? The momentum they have and the results they're getting against everyone now?
Absolutely. I think that, again, this afternoon they showed the quality they had. They played very, very well from the start of the game. Create chances, put a lot of pressure on City. They should have been 2 up, 3 up, but second half, City came back. City dominated the ball quite well, but this...
A Mo show for Liverpool!
Yes, Liverpool beating the champion. Suffer a 4th consecutive league defeat. Look at those 7 games without a win in all competitions. That's the first time that has happened to Pep Guardiola in his career, although he was reminding the Liverpool exact titles he's won in the City of Blue. But Arne
Mo show for Liverpool.
Yes, Liverpool beating the champion. Suffer a 4th consecutive league defeat. Look at those 7 games without a win in all competitions. That's the first time that has happened to Pep Guardiola in his career, although he was reminding the Liverpool exact titles he's won in the City of Blue. But Arne Slot, with this seemingly touch, continues. He's got the better of Pep Guardiola in his first meeting with him. Liverpool have all 3 points. Here's Virgil van Dijk, and first of all, Mo Salah.
Guys, well played. Huge result. Mo, it just felt like from minute 1 today, you just smelt blood.
Yeah, it's crazy that the fans were behind us from the first minutes. And I'm glad we managed to win the game. We know City is going to come, try to win the game here, but we managed to play a good game and win the game.
Actually, did it end up working for you?
I was annoyed by the time, but he started the coin toss already quite quickly, so I was a little bit...
Well, the other side has to be in the second post, so I told Cody before the game, every time I have the ball, and if the chance for me to play the ball to you, I will play it for sure. So I give him a few balls this season, him and Lucho as well. So we trained that ball in training. We managed to do it in the game. It's great.
How special are days like this? Mo, how special is Anfield when it's like this?
It's very special. I said before, I don't take it for granted. I'm enjoying every minute here. It feels like home. So yeah, it's a special feeling always scoring Anfield and win games.
Yeah, even more so at the moment. You've been fairly vocal.
I play for Liverpool, so I'm just gonna enjoy it. the atmosphere was incredible. So I'm enjoying every second here, and hopefully we just win the league and see what will happen.
Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you, but what I will ask you: 11 points to City, 9 points to second. How significant?
Okay.
And the man next to you.
Okay, we give it to him.
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
Yeah, we give it to him.
I had a few, so you can give it.
Oh, yeah. So who picked him?
Gary Neville.
Okay, well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm surprised that the car didn't give it to you, but...
I wouldn't. Never. I wouldn't give it to
All right,
Here we go. We're on pundit watch here. Pundits being analysed by
I don't
players.
listen to any of that.
Well done. Well done.
They enjoyed it. That's the screenshot for Liverpool fans all around the world tonight, beating Manchester City by 2-0. We'll talk about that atmosphere, which we were very privileged to experience today in a moment. Probably my last game for Liverpool here against Manchester City. Is this the game of chess continuing?
Well, there's obviously been no conversation since he last came out and dropped the bomb type of thing, and that's where things are at the moment. I'm sure there will be further negotiation. There's a long time between now and the end of the season. The crowd absolutely adore him. The club adore him. He adores the club. He's just one of the most incredible players with great success, playing in a team that are, on top of the world at the moment. I still believe, I can't bring myself to think that he won't be here last season. But obviously with comments like that, it does make you wonder.
Where are you with this, Cola?
He just said probably. That means there's a probability for him to stay, which I think is good for Liverpool. Of course, he's a fantastic player, and definitely if he goes, they will miss him because he's a goal scorer. He's a guy who can create goal. He's a guy who helped the team when they are in tough moment, like the penalty he scored today. And but we know in the game that sometimes players at that age, they sometimes go for the bigger money, I will say. And but we hope that he stay in the Premier League, of course.
The one thing that I think, if you're wanting to go, if you're thinking of going, you try to avoid it. You don't really want to speak about it. You almost let the days and games tick away. And I think that's what it almost. It's not a cry to an appeal or anything, but I do think just the way he's speaking about it, he's
to say, I want to win Champions Leagues, I want to win Premier Leagues, I want to do it at this football club. So if that's the case, they'll sign.
But the big plus for Salah, on top of all, is the negotiation. Amazing player. He's always available. He's always fit. So you try and replace it. If they've got somebody else in the building that will get you over 20 goals a season and he plays every game, then that's fine. You might say, we've got a couple of young lads coming through, you move on. But to try and replace Salah, who guarantees you these performances in the big occasions, to try and replace that you've mentioned earlier. And again, we're not talking about, when this idea, I agree with you, give them what they want. Nobody gets that. That's why it's called negotiation. You obviously go in high, they come in and you try and meet in the middle somewhere. But how Liverpool, if they can take the chance of letting him walk out the building on a free, and we're talking about the modern players, these are fitness freaks.
I think last season was the first time he dropped below 80% of Premier League minutes in his Liverpool career. Do you have any issue, just finally on this, Daniel, any issue with the way that he's sort of, as I say, seeking out reporters last week? He's mentioned it a few times already this season. If it does potentially put the club in a difficult place, have you just got to do, as a player in that situation, everything you can to win that contract?
I think each player goes about it in a different way. Some guys, like Trent and Virgil, haven't really spoke about it. Mo's a different player and a different personality, so each person's going to approach it in a different way. He's gone about it the way he feels is going to get him the result he wants. Do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it, but I think...
You agree with me?
No, I don't agree with you.
I don't agree with him.
I don't agree with him, but what I'm saying is... My personality, I'm saying he's speaking more with the press now.
So do you agree with that? Do you think that's right, or do you think it's wrong?
What I'm saying to you is players who have individual mindsets go about things in their own way. The likes of Cristiano Ronaldo was questioned at times, and Ronaldo would do interviews or go about things in certain ways. There's individuals out there whom, when they're at the top and they're one of the greatest, and they start getting questioned or things don't start to go their way, they approach things in a way that says, do you know who I am? Do you know who you're messing with right now? Like, I'm Mo Salah. I've done all these things. Just like in an interview, he goes, well, yeah, great players see those passes. Like, he's sure of himself. He doesn't doubt himself one bit. So if you don't want to pay me, that's okay. I'll go to one of the other best teams in the world, or I'll go to wherever he sees, and he'll say, you don't respect me enough. I think it's about respect and him saying, pay me what I deserve, because if you don't, I'll find somewhere else that will do it.
I agree with that. Mo Salah sees himself as that type of player, and rightly so. But for me, Virgil van Dijk's one of those type of players. And all I'm asking for is for Mo Salah not to come out after every game where he scores a goal and talk about his own situation. Virgil van Dijk's in exactly the same situation and handling it brilliantly. Just saying, there's nothing to report at the moment. Move on. It's about the club more. The club is always more important than the individual, especially with Liverpool top of the Premier League and top of the Champions League.
Salah done his talking on the pitch today. That's what he done his talking. Take more note of that than the odd quote or the odd little tantrum.
Give them all what they want. Liverpool boss for Arne Slot beating City by 2-0 today. It's only the 4th time in top division history a team has been 9 points clear at this stage. He's giving his reaction to Patrick Davison.
Well, Arne, maybe with the exception of some missed chances, was that pretty close to perfect?
Yeah, and if you look at work rate, I think it was perfect. The amount of chances we missed that made it that it was tight till the end. But yeah, maybe that's also the nice part of a game like this. It should be like this, but in an ideal world we would have scored earlier the second one, yes.
Was the plan to go at them right from the start, to kind of go for the throat, or does Anfield with its atmosphere just almost demand that of you in a game like this?
I think if you watch every game of us, which you probably have done, then you know that we always want to press high. But the thing is, they can do build up very well. They can play the ball out from the back very, very well. So then you have to put a lot of effort in, or you have to take the risk of playing 1v1. But we put a lot of effort in. We forced them to a few mistakes, which led to some chances. That gives us energy. That gives the crowd energy, and that helps, of course, because apart from our players, the crowd was fantastic today as well.
You said before the game, you mentioned City basically playing without wingers and not being sure how they were going to line up. What did you make about how they went about it first half?
Yeah, they always make it difficult for you in the way they position, and but in general it's mostly the same formation, but players can go to different positions. And yeah, it's not only formation; it's 9 of 10 times the quality of the players that make it difficult for you, and that's also what they had on the pitch today. But yeah, the good thing for us is we have some quality players on the pitch as well.
I suppose at the beginning of the season, because of a new manager, there was a little bit of uncertainty about how this would go for Liverpool. Has this week, beating Real Madrid, beating Man City, underlined what kind of season this is going to be? Maybe you won't win things, but you will be competing for the very biggest prizes.
No, we're a compatible team, and it's very difficult to beat us. But therefore, we need to put the effort in, like we put in every single game. And you also saw today the injuries we have at the back. We had to take care of Trent. Maybe he could have played 90, but yeah, it's a risk with all these games coming up, so we had to take him off after 70. And Joe did really well today to replace Ibu, and Joel came in a, for him, unfamiliar position. So that is the challenges we face at the moment, but every team faces these challenges during the season, and it's up to us to get the best out of it, and that's what we did today. But again, a big week coming up with Newcastle and Everton.
I mentioned the ferocious start, but I actually wonder if the biggest difference you've made with Liverpool, like we've seen lots of fast starts under Jurgen Klopp, but the second half, the way you managed it, barely gave any chances away, hit them on the break. Do you think that maybe that flexibility is what that little, you talked at the start of the season, just adding a few little nuances to the base you inherited?
Ideally, I would have loved to see the second half being the same as the first half, but yeah, the quality of the other team is also that much that there are phases in the game or that they have the ball, and then it's up to us to defend really strong in and around our 18-yard box, and I think that's also what we did. If you want to win against City, like I think I said before the game, you have to be perfect in every part of the game, high press, low press, build up, in every part, because they bring so many problems to you. So and I think we came close to perfection. We weren't perfect. We came close to perfection, and that's the only win you can beat a quality team like City.
And lastly, I think today was your 20th game in charge, all competitions. Can you believe how well it's gone?
No, I can't believe because it's happening at the moment, but I don't think anyone, including me, would have predicted this. I knew that Jurgen left the team in a very good place. But yeah, still to win so much with all the difficult teams we faced already, is something you can't predict before the season. But like I said, we're not the only one. I saw Arsenal yesterday, I saw Chelsea today, and I saw City playing. They will come back because these teams have so much quality. They can have the same run as us. So we have to stay sharp and focused for the upcoming weeks.
Well done.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yes, 20 games as Liverpool manager, and Arne Slot has won 18 of them. We've talked about some of his players and how impressive they are, but how impressed have you been with him, with Arne Slot?
He's cool, isn't he? He's a cool guy, and the players are... I think there was... Obviously, what helped them, I suppose, at the start of the season, there was no pressure on Liverpool, really, when they came in. Obviously, didn't really spend in the transfer market, so everyone was maybe seeing how this kind of goes, and he said himself, nobody would have thought they would have been so far ahead. Their performances, defensively outstanding. There's what they had today with opportunity quality. There's an energy about them. I think the team reflect the manager as well. There's certainly a calmness to their play, which is key, I think, in terms of... We praise Klopp. Klopp's been amazing. Again, that kind of high-energy football. But they have that, and they do it at the right times. And there's also a time where they're cool and calm and looking after the ball and getting their recovery. And so... any team that can finish ahead of Liverpool this season in the league will be doing very, very well.
Do you think, Daniel, because they haven't signed players, which is unusual when a new manager comes in, that there are still questions as to how much of this is about Jurgen Klopp and how much is about a different approach from Arne Slot?
I think Arne Slot has rejuvenated the squad a little bit, because I think it's new messaging, it's a new approach from and I think the players have bought into it a lot. Obviously, the Dutch connection with Virgil as well would have transmitted that within the dressing room, made it very clear to the team how the manager would want them to go about their business. And I agree with Roy, the calmness of it. I think it's a completely flip side approach from how the managers are. I think Jurgen led with his heart, whereas Slot seems to almost more of a mental thing. But it's interesting because you wouldn't have anticipated it would happen so fast, that they would compete the way they are. So it's really impressive.
I just think watching Slot, I think as a defender, you probably back me up on this. When I used to watch Liverpool under Klopp, they was outstanding, but they did give you a chance, and that high line. Now, if you look at them now, they just go
stressful being a defender.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
when you're constantly running that way, it is difficult. Now they look a little bit more composed. If you watch Trent this season, his defending has been miles better. Okay, when Doku came on the one-on-ones, he wasn't getting tight enough, but the structure of the team and the balance just seems a little bit better, and they can adapt to different situations where previously they would always play well. They call it heavy metal football, but it just felt like there was always an opportunity you could get in behind.
The thing I would say with Jurgen Klopp type of football, you'd probably argue it was more exciting, but it had to be perfect to be good defensively. I think there was only a couple of seasons where Liverpool had a really good defensive numbers. I think the season they went really close with City, and the season after they win the league. And besides that, didn't have a poor defensive record, but it certainly wasn't what we've seen now. So he's made them better defensively, more controlled, but also what he's done to certain individuals within the team. Liverpool have been looking for a holding midfield player for sort of the last 2 or 3 seasons. Jurgen Klopp couldn't get one. Jurgen Klopp didn't think Gravenberch was that player. He was playing him as an attacking midfield player. He's put him there, and right now he looks as good as anyone in the Premier League in that position. And also we see Luis Diaz as a centre forward. Jurgen Klopp put Gakpo as a centre forward for a lot of time. He's put Gakpo on the left. Diaz is now playing in that central position at times. So you can see the little tweaks he's made to actually individuals who are already part of the squad.
This lead is now 9 points, and historically, teams go on to win the title from this kind of position. Every time, in fact, teams had more than 6 points or more lead at this stage, they have, in Premier League history, gone on to win the title. And they've done it by almost 12 points on average. So, what are the dangers from here?
The dangers
don't worry about any other teams, but in terms of Liverpool themselves.
Well, just look at the injuries right now. I think if they got another 1 or 2 injuries, certainly defensively, they'd have a problem, a real problem. They may end up having to put maybe a midfield player, a fullback, or something like that. So that could be a problem. And also domestic cup competitions. Last season and a couple of years before that, Liverpool, at this stage of the season, were talking about 4 trophies. And one season they ended up winning the 2 domestic cups, but lost the Champions League final, lost the Premier League on the final day to City. Last season there was talk, Europa League, they won the Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup game at Manchester United just absolutely almost finished the season in some ways. Now, you cannot deliberately lose games or try and get, not do as well as you can. You're Liverpool, you have to compete in every competition. But if I was given the manager any advice, I would not be playing any first-team players in domestic cup competitions, because the reason no one's ever won 4 trophies in a season before, because it's almost impossible. That could be a problem for them. If they could just concentrate on the league and the Champions League, I think they're going to take some stopping.
Only 75 points still to play for. Is anyone prepared to put the bunting up yet for Liverpool? Declare them champions?
No, after 13 games, I think this, elaborating on Kara's question, I think if they was to lose Salah or Van Dijk, we talked
January
pre-match. It's different. We talked about the big players turning up. I mentioned Odegaard and Saka for Arsenal, obviously Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne for Man City. Salah, watching Salah is just incredible. Not because I played with him many moons ago, but he doesn't have to even play well, but he still makes a difference in the key areas. Daniel talked about his pass, and then he's finished. He misses penalties, and nothing phases him.
I was asking about Liverpool winning the title.
That's different, but that's what I mean. I think if you lose Van Dijk and Salah, things become a lot.
If they stay fit,
then it's very difficult for everyone else.
I don't know. I feel like Liverpool are looking, very good right now. I think it's. I agree with the guys. I think it's injuries. I think it's mentally staying in it and not letting opportunities slip by when you're playing against certain opposition. There's how you obviously win leagues is by beating the teams you're supposed to beat, and we've seen a lot of those teams actually are performing quite well. So it's about continuing to put teams away when you have like opportunities in the first half today when you're missing 5 or 6 chances. You can't do that regularly and expect to win a title.
I think whenever there's a week of 3 Premier League games in a week, a lot can change. Now, no disrespect to Man City, they've been amazing for the last 5 or 6 years. But when I looked at this week, I looked at Newcastle away Wednesday night and then play Everton away 12:30. That's a quick turnaround, and that's if Liverpool could come through that with 4 to 6 points, they are in a great position. Because if I'm an Arsenal player or the manager looking at the next 2 games Liverpool have had, they're not easy.
You don't get any league medal in December. This team will take some stopping.
There we go. Sounds like Jamie's almost got the bunting out, though. Not quite yet. Right, we're still going to talk about Manchester City a little more and hear from the manager, Pep Guardiola, who showed the 6 fingers of defiance to the Liverpool fans here tonight. There we go. He's coming next. Guardiola. Champions, as Pep reminded the Liverpool fans in the last 4 seasons, and in 6 of the last 7 seasons. It's also 6 defeats in the last 7 matches. Here he is with Patrick Davison.
Well, Pep, it probably wasn't realistic to think you would come here and everything would be perfect and confidence would be at the top level. But what do you make of what you have seen?
Well, the first 50-20 minutes, they were unstoppable. Their strengths were strong. We tried to, with the conditions that we have, play with a lot of control, a lot of passes. It was difficult to take it. And after we took the game, of course, they will deserve the first goal. And but we finished really good the first half and the second without not too much threat. So I know how strong they are in the boxes, Liverpool in both sides, and don't do mistakes. And after up front, the transitions always had but since I met Liverpool, so, and yeah, congratulate them and restart from here, try to make a reset from zero, and yeah, it's difficult to believe it, but I rely a lot with these players. I know how they are doing and in that position, and by the end of the season, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you said that you picked a team to try and play lots of short passes, to try and control it. How difficult is that to do here, and could your team have done it any better?
Yeah, always you can do it, but there are players that make an effort playing in not his positions, and because we don't have an alternatives, and all I can say thank you to them, because I know the commitment that they do without the ball. I know that, but I don't know, maybe it's something inside of me that I had the feeling that we will build from here, restart and try to make some good run and try to to win games.
What will it take then to reset? I think you said to build from here. What will it need?
No, there is a moment that there are moments that maybe we'll have to make a click, and we'll do a click and everything. So today Kevin make a good minutes because we need that pace and didn't have when I see the last games, and Jack played good in that position as well, and Jeremy got a good minutes after 1 month out. So so Bernardo, Rico, and a lot of minutes in his legs, and Nathan was exceptional against maybe one of the most toughest wingers ever, and with Mo Salah. So I take some things. So congratulate, I would say, Liverpool. They deserve the victory and accepted the situation right now and build from that.
How tough or how significant is not just the injuries, but the players that are out there, maybe having to come back into the team early, so there's guys out there who aren't 100% fit themselves?
Yeah, that's what it is. With the pre-season as well. Pre-season, we didn't have pre-season, started Community Shield, and the players come back a bit late and after injuries. And I know, but we had to survive with that. So I think we compete. We didn't create that much chances, but in certain moments we were there in terms of what we wanted for the pace that we have right now in the middle, especially. So in terms of duels, they are stronger, and you have to survive with the ball. If the game is, transitions, we don't have Gundo and Rico and Bernardo, or I don't know, to make a transition the 30-40 meters that they have with Gravenberg, it was a lie on McAllister and the pace up front. So, and we had to do it, but I cannot forget which players I have. So I cannot forget, and I'm here sitting, being a manager, defending what we had in the past thanks to them, and more than ever I want to be with them and help them, and of course we have to change results, but in the right time we will take the decision.
Yeah, you talked there about defending what you've done in the past. We saw you hold 6 fingers up to the crowd during the game, again at the end.
All the stadiums want to sack me. Oh my God! I started with Brighton. Maybe they're right. Maybe I must be sacked for the results that we have. But I didn't expect an Anfield that. So
you didn't?
No. So, with 0-1, I 1-0 for them. Didn't do it with 2-0. And maybe we should do it in the past, sing the song in the past, not now. Now let's take advantage. I didn't expect for the people from Liverpool, but it's fine. It's part of the game. I understand completely and accept it. And we had an incredible battles together. They win, we won, and I have a respect, and that's it.
Is this going to be not just a day, but a year where they win at 11 points? Behind them now? Are we going to have new Premier League champions this season, do you think?
Well, I said before that game that we are not in the position and the results we are getting to think about in the big targets, but the season is long and we have to try to make a result, and after we come back, some players will come back, and after everything will be better and we'll be late maybe, I don't know, but there are many things to fight, and yeah, we're going to try.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thanks.
Well, he took it in good humour. He hasn't heard it too often before, and you don't when you're winning title after title. He looked like he was shocked to hear it.
Yeah, I think because he said it was at Anfield, and we always say Liverpool fans would be obviously respectful, but they're obviously just poking a bit of fun at him. They're probably still hoping he will be sacked because they know how brilliant he is. But he's took it in good humour, obviously, and he took it in the right spirits. But you could see he's flat after the match. He's mentioned about building stuff up again with the team, but Pep and his staff have got big problems to solve.
We always say, Daniel, never write off Manchester City. Never write them off. But can we now?
I'm not going to right now. I'm really not. I know that there's a lot of things have to happen, but to say you're going to write them off completely, I just think it's premature. I think
that team cannot win the league, though, can that team is...
I don't think so. I don't think they can, but you can't write them off.
What evidence do you see of this turning round for City?
I think they've got players, for me, right now, John Stones has played defensive midfield for them, and they've been successful with him in that position. Whether they buy somebody in January, Haaland can get going and can start rattling off goals left and right. Kevin De Bruyne can come back and all of a sudden, you know, he starts getting in the rhythm of playing. I think there's players within the squad that are world-class football players, and they can get a rhythm, gain their confidence again. The manager can find a system and players that he believes in, an 11 that he's not changing, and that can be the difference.
Something's going on with Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne has been the best player for me in the Premier League for the last 5 seasons. I mean, the fact he's not starting games, he doesn't come on at half-time. I'm not trying to create more trouble for Manchester City in terms of, you know, talking about a story, but something is not right there between those two, and it's maybe sad because we're talking about one of the greatest managers we've ever seen and one of the greatest players we've ever seen in the Premier League, and I think his contract finishes at the end of the season, had a few injury problems, but something is not right when as soon as he's fit, he doesn't go straight back in. Or it doesn't come on at half-time. Something is...
He missed a great chance as well. He does look a little bit off it, though. I know he's trying to get back up to speed. He had a great chance to score, and you think it could be a mad last 10 or 15 minutes there, but yeah, you're always surprised when De Bruyne's not on the pitch.
Kevin De Bruyne is struggling. Phil Foden, Player of the Year last season, 19 goals, has not scored one this. Haaland, we've seen in fits and starts, other players that you've talked about, the levels have dropped. Is there any question, Micah, that the players have stopped responding or are not responding right now to their manager?
No, I don't think they've stopped responding. I think all players have all been in dressing rooms. Sometimes you get frustrated whether you're playing or you're not. I think the intensity in which he's had them performing for so many years, even he said in his interview beforehand, there's a level where you might drop off. He was expecting it before, and I think we're just finding out the players, we're getting a bit older now, and in midfield, they're getting overrun. At the back, they're making the wrong decisions. But when you ask about Pep and what he's done in the Premier League and why, when you ask the question to Daniel, have they still got a chance and why he doesn't want to concede right now, is because he's a trendsetter. When we talk about fullbacks coming in, when you talk about centre-half stepping in as well, putting players on different positions, putting John Stones in a number 10 in a Champions League final, he has changed the game completely, and we're all sort of here now figuring out ways is how is he going to do the next thing to get them back playing. At this moment in time, they look like they've lost a bit of energy and that intensity, but in terms of the manager, you always think he's going to figure something out somewhere down the line.
I think we can all obviously be quite critical and as ex-players, but I don't think any of us could sit here and criticise Pep or Man City for what they've done. And it's just a reminder to all of us, the standards, their points total, their style of play, the type of goals, the type of football they've played, it's just been unbelievable.
But it's not about now so much as it's about the future. We're talking about, Roy, you played under Sir Alex Ferguson for so many years, and what would he do? He would sometimes bring in a new voice as an assistant or change something.
Yeah, of course, and it's about getting players in. And again, I suppose Pep and the staff would be looking at it. They'll look in January, but maybe in the summer, almost another rebuilding job, build another team. That's what he's got to do. But we say, you talk about the future, but you still have to give credit to these players and Pep for what they've done in the last few years. They've set the standard of the Premiership. I played for Man United, and it's not easy for me to say that. So we see a Man City team here getting easily beaten. They looked weak in midfield. They didn't look like they were all in it together. And it's just a combination of lots of stuff, injuries. We're talking about here Pep. How is he? Pep's going to fix it. If anyone will fix it, it'll be Pep. He's one of the greatest managers of all time. But the beauty, what I'm kind of enjoying, I don't mean in a sick way, I'm enjoying seeing him struggling. It's great because all of a sudden we're thinking, Pep got all the answers. Not at the moment, he hasn't. But recruitment, whatever, and we talk about recruitment. Some of that recruitment recently hasn't been that great. So there's a question marks over lots of areas of Man City.
I think Roy's right. I think there'll be a lot of coaches up and down the country watching his interviews before every game and after every game, how he deals with that situation. And I think that, I don't know what the right word I'm looking for is, but not so much enjoying it, but actually thinking, finally, he's maybe going through a little bit what every other coach goes through, sleepless nights, waking up in the morning, the first thing you think about, should I try him? You're second guessing yourself because everything he's ever tried before has worked. But I think what it shows is, no matter how great you think these managers are, they still need great players. And I go back to Jurgen Klopp a couple of years ago when his midfield legs had gone. He finished outside the top 4. Pep's first season at Manchester City, he didn't have the fullbacks he wanted to do what he wanted. I think he had 4 fullbacks at City. I think Gail Clichy was on, Sanya, there's maybe another couple. They didn't have the legs and the energy. They finished 3rd. As soon as he got the players he wanted, they ran away, won everything. But they haven't got the midfield players right now in terms of legs and energy to do what he wants. And that's why they're struggling. And I don't think there is a real quick fix.